Welcome back to our series of solution and explanation to competitive coding. Today we are going to solve LeetCode question number 392. That is subsequent. So let us understand the question first. Okay, so the question says that given two strings s and t, return true if s is a subsequence of t or false otherwise. Okay, so basically we are given two strings, like first is s and second is t, and we have to tell whether s is the subsequence of t or not. So how this describes subsequence is a subsequence of a string is a new string that is formed from original string by deleting some, can be none, of the characters without disturbing the relative position of the remaining characters. That is, like ACE is a subsequence of ABCDE, while AEC is not. Why? Because like AEC, all the characters, like if this is S string AC AEC, and if this is T string ABCDE, then AEC is not the subsequence of ABCDE because the position of the characters are like changed or altered, but ACE appears in the same manner, like in the same sequence as they are present in the original string T. Okay, so this is a subsequence of like AC is subsequence of ABCDE, but whether but AEC is not the subsequence of ABCDE. So this is one constraint. And if like any of the characters that are present in S string, and if they are not present in T string, then again that string won't will not be considered as subsequence of the original string. Okay, so subsequence are like made or formed by removing some or like none or some characters from the original string and without disturbing the order of the original string. Okay, so I hope you understand the concept, what the question is trying to say. Okay, so like in example one, if s is our string a b c and t is our string a h b g d c, so like a b c are in same order, and like if we delete h and gd, we'll acquire this abc string in the same sequence. So s is subsequence of t, so we have to return true. Okay, in second example, axc is like our s is axc and our t string is ahbgdc. So axc is not a subsequence of t because we can't acquire string axc by deleting some of the characters of our original string t. So we have to return false. Okay, so some constraints are given. String dot length is something between like 0 to 100, and okay, second constraint is that okay, t also lies between 0 to 10 to power 10 raised to 4, and s and t consist only of lowercase in English letters, so we don't have to care about upper cases, and that's all. Okay, so let's jump to our explanation board and see how could we do this, and then we'll follow by coding the same. Okay, so suppose these are two string. In the first case, these are two string where s is the subsequence of t. So initially what we're going to do is we can compare it character by character. Like if we are we'll start, like we'll use two pointers, one for iterating s string and second for iterating t string. Okay, so our first pointer is I, that we'll use to iterate over first s string, which is our subsequence, and j pointer we'll use to iterate over our like original string or the length string. Okay, so we start from from the first position of both the strings, and first thing we do is we compare compare the characters at that particular position. If they're same, then we are going to increment both the pointers by one. But okay, so in this case it is same, so we are going to increment both the pointer by one. But in this now we landed the situation where characters of the both strings are not same at a particular position. So if the characters are not same, then we are going to increment only the character of t, only the pointer of t string, because there might be some characters in t that might not be occur in s, but there shouldn't be any character in s that is not in T. So each and every character of S should be present in T, but there might be some characters in T that are not present in S. So we are going to increment only our J pointer, that is pointer to our T string. Okay, so suppose this character is like deleted. Okay, so we don't consider this one. Again, when we move to the next character, then we find that again both the characters matches. And then we are going to do is increment both the pointers by one, and by incrementing both the pointers by one, we found that again characters didn't match. So we don't have to bother about that, because we can delete this character in T string if some characters are there in S that doesn't meet T, then it would be a problematic. We'll see that case in, further. Okay, so again we delete G. Again we increment our J pointer, like pointer to T string. Again we delete D, and again we increment our pointer by one. And finally we saw that both the characters, characters are matching. Then we can return true. Okay, so next condition we have to check if we have completed our S string and we are on the last index of the S string, and character matches with some of the characters of T string, then we have to return true, because S is subsequence of T. Then we are going to return true because we are on the last character of this S string, and that character matches with some of the characters of T, and we have checked all the previous characters that appears in the same order. If this is not the case, then we have to return false. Like suppose if we do okay, suppose if this is not the character. Okay, so in this case we are going to return true. Okay, so we return true for this case, here you true. Okay, but suppose for okay, let me change the pen. Suppose this character is not C, instead of C it is E. Suppose bad. Suppose this character is E instead of C, so this won't match ever. Okay, so again we are going to remove this one also. Okay, so we didn't. Okay, we proceed. Okay, we will proceed to this one. Okay, when we proceed to this one and we keep on incrementing our J pointer and we don't find the character, or this doesn't match, and when we move to this one and we again see this character also didn't match. So we have completed iterated over our whole T array, but this character didn't match, so we have to return false in this case. Okay, so let me code the solution so that you can understand better senses. Okay, so first thing we are going to check, we are going to make 2 pointers. All you can do is, because length is 0, so if length is 0 you can do this check, or if you like, if length is 0 return nothing because if s.length is 0, then it is always a subsequence of T, because we have deleted all the characters of T and it is subsequence. I'm not going to do that, you can do. So first thing we're going to do is create 2 pointers, that is I, initially it is 0, and J, it is also 0. Okay. Second thing, we are going to iterate over both the strings at a time. So the condition should be our pointers should be not exceed the length of our strings. Okay, so suppose I should be, while I is less than is s dot length. Okay, and second condition, we are going to iterate the string unless one of our string is over, like we have completely iterated over one of the array, so we are going to iterate over the array of strings. Okay, so I should be less than s dot length, that is our subsequence string, and J should be less than t dot length. Okay, so we are going to iterate while I is less than s dot length and J is less than t dot length. Okay, now in this we are going to first check if character, if s dot caret I, if s dot caret I is equals to t dot caret J, if both are equal, okay, if both are equal, what we are going to do is we are going to increment our I and J both by 1. We'll do I plus plus and J plus plus. Okay, but if both are not same, or if both are not equal, in the else case we are going to increment only our J pointer, as we have seen in our diagram or explanation board. Okay, so this if we are done with this loop, and if we do return true, then we have to return false, because if we are over with iterating over either of the strings, then we are done and characters doesn't match, all the characters of S didn't appear in T in the same sequence, so we have to return false. So return false. Okay, so suppose like in our last case, like if you're here in the previous case, when there is C and here it's also C. So in this case, we have to check if, okay, so we are going to check if like because we have already checked if the character has like character at ith position of S is equals to character at ith position of like jth position of T. Because they are equal, then we are going to enter this if condition, and inside this if condition, like if the I'm going to say that if s dot I can say is that if I is equals to s dot length minus 1. Okay, if I is this that is if I reaches the its like last index, and it is the character at ith position of at s is equals to jth position of T, then we are going to return true. Okay, return true. So this is our final solution, so I hope it should work, and let me see if it works or not. So this is working. Okay, this is proper, but let us consider one more case. Suppose if our like okay, if our sequence is not matching, like suppose if the string is like ACB instead of ABC, ACB, then what is going to ACB? Okay, so what we're going to, first character will match, okay, then we move forward and our second character will match here, then we are done with this string, and here is one character left. Then obviously we are going to return false because we didn't return true, and we are out of our while loop. Then we have to return false. So I think so this solution should work for all the cases. Let me submit this and check if it is valid for all cases and if it is optimal or not. So it shows the wrong answer. What's the matter? Okay, how is it wrong? So because if this is a string, okay, the same test case what I've not mentioned, because output should be false, and it is like my string is giving expected is true. Okay, so what I've ignored, what I've told you guys to do, I have to do if s dot length or if else dot length s dot length is equals to 0. Okay, so we have to return true. We have we have told this situation, but I have not mentioned it here. Okay, so it should work now. Hopefully. Let me check if it is working or not. Again, compile time error. What? Oh my god, this is a function actually. Let me submit finally. So it did work, and it is one of the optimal solution, I think so, but it is it is not memory efficient solution. So it is 88% faster, but it uses uses lots of memory, 42 MBs, and is better than only 28.44%. So I hope you enjoy the concept, enjoy learning and understand the concept. But if you have a better approach, you can comment in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.